This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Hello and welcome back to my channel. The beginning of this year has gone by so fast and I can't believe that this is already my 5th monthly setup in my bullet journal in 2021. This month I'm redoing an old theme that I did back in September 2018, so about 2.5 years ago. This was actually one of the very first themes that I shared on my Instagram account, and the pictures are still there, so go check them out if you're interested to see how my bullet journal looked back then. My drawing style has changed so much since, and I think it's safe to say that I've improved a lot, but you know what, you gotta start somewhere. So my theme is hot air balloons, and for my color palette I chose these beautiful pastel colors that are just perfect for spring in my opinion. I sketched all the balloons and the patterns first and started coloring them in with my Tombow brush pens. I drew hot air balloons in different sizes and with different patterns. I added some details with a white gel pen and then did the outlines with the thinnest fine liner I could find. The lines are again these dashed lines, kinda like in my last month's Polaroid theme. I really like how the dashed lines makes the drawings pop, but still the lines aren't too dark, if you know what I mean. In some hot air balloons I added these almost vintagey and dreamy details like some ropes and bows, and to this one balloon I drew some flags. And you actually see me use this flag thing in my other pages as well. Moving on to my monthly calendar. I started this spread by drawing this pennant, not sure if I'm using the right word, but these like colorful flags, and I had this fun idea to write May inside the little flags. I used again my alphabet stamps that you know I love to use in my bullet journal. The calendar is again this pretty basic 2-page calendar, and each box is 6x6 dot grid spaces. I had some space under the calendar, so I decided to draw another one of those pennants. I finished this with some grid washi tape and moved on to my habit tracker. From my latest Archer&Olive subscription box, I got these cute calendar stamps that I decided to use here. The theme of that box was also hot air balloons, and the color palette was similar to the one that I'm doing, and I was so inspired by everything in that box that I just had to create the same theme in my journal. Before moving on in my May setup, I wanted to talk about today's sponsor, Skillshare. You might already know Skillshare, and if you don't, they are an online learning community with thousands and thousands of classes. I personally love Skillshare, and I've been taking their art classes just to relax and to spend my free time more meaningfully. And what could be more meaningful than learning new things? I especially love this modern watercolor class by Kat Cogilet that I just took recently. So if you want to join this amazing community, Skillshare is now offering a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership for the first 1,000 people that use the link in my description. Even after the trial, membership is really affordable, only around $10 a month. Thank you again Skillshare for supporting my channel, and now let's continue my May bullet journal setup. The next page that I'm doing is my May goals. For this goals page, I used a similar technique as in my November theme. If you didn't know, Tombow brush pens are water soluble, so you're able to mix them with water and to create these beautiful watercolor effects. So that is exactly what I did here. I glued this piece of watercolor paper under the header, and under this little painting I'm going to write down all my goals for the month. And when I achieve one of my goals, I'm going to stamp a hot air balloon to that painting, as you see me do here. Moving on to my sleep log. This little tracker is one of my favorites, not only because it looks so satisfying when it's finished, but also because I really feel like it helps me when I try to find reasons why I'm feeling so unmotivated or unproductive. It really affects me a lot if I don't get enough sleep, so by filling this tracker I'm able to see if I need to make some changes to my sleeping schedule. And kinda related to the sleep log, this next page is my productivity tracker. My Tombow Fudenosuke Brush pen wasn't really cooperating and I wasn't super happy how the header turned out, so I decided to do this scrapbooky thing and cover the header with some washi tapes. I wrote the header again and I think it turned out pretty okay. My productivity tracker is really similar with the mood trackers that I've done in my setups before. I personally have realized that productivity trackers work for me better than mood trackers, but this could be easily turned into a mood tracker just by changing the header. For this tracker I drew 2 hot air balloons and made these 2 different patterns so that there were 31 sections for 31 days in May. I have the legend on the bottom and then this page was done. Moving on to my May memories page. I really enjoyed filling in my memories on these pages lately, so I obviously wanted to have one in my May setup as well. The idea here is that I created this one big calendar where I have a box for each day, and every day I'm going to write a few words or do a little something of a memory from that day. And when it's all filled in, you can see all the memories from that month in this one spread. This is also a really fun page to look back to after a few months or even years. This next page is my expense tracker, and to be completely honest, I've really been struggling with this tracker. It's been feeling kind of overwhelming keeping track of all my expenses, so I've been thinking that I might not want to include this tracker in my setups anymore. So when I do my migration to a new journal in June, I think I'll have to change my budgeting pages a bit so that this wouldn't cause me as much stress that it has been causing in the last few months. The last page before my first weekly spread is my content planner. I totally forgot to do this in my last setup, but this time I'm bringing it back. I know all of you are not content creators like me, but if you're in school, you could use this to get an overview of your assignments, or if you're working different shifts every day, this could help you to keep track of them. Finally, we have arrived to the last spread in this setup, that is my first weekly spread for May. I don't know why, but it felt like I created so many pages this month, even though these are pretty much the spreads that I always do. Anyways, in my last few setups, I haven't created these weekly spreads because I've been using rolling weeklies, but in the end of April I decided to go back to these pre-made spreads. I can't really decide which style works the best for me, but I guess I don't even have to pick just one style. For this one, I used the same pennant idea that I had on the calendar page and did this horizontal layout for a change. Overall, I'm so happy how this theme turned out, and it makes me kind of want to redo more of my older themes. Let me know in the comments if you have an old theme of mine that you'd like to see me redo. But here it is, the final flip through of my May 2021 bullet journal setup. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!